What's going on, everyone? Keegs and Ben here. Say hi, Ben.
Hello.
And we are coming at you with the Act 3 most difficult bosses. If you didn't catch our first two videos talking about Act 1 and Act 2 most difficult bosses, I recommend you go back and watch those. But if you don't want to do that, then just look at the screen and you can see exactly what we got for the rankings on the first two acts of the game. But moving into Act 3, the first boss that I think most people are going to fight here is the Bell Eater. Where are you going with this one, Ben?
I thought it was pretty hard, but not like offensively so. I also think it's nonsense that this is listed as optional. It's like, yes, technically, but like you're never going to use the fast travel again. I don't think so.
Yeah, in all of Act 3, you're not going to fast travel at all.
Especially with how much you have to run around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'd put this... Wow, actually, now that I'm looking at this, I'd probably put this just under Lace 2.
Just under Lace 2.
It didn't piss me off that much, though I felt like some of the projectiles were a little difficult to read, but I definitely struggled with it more than all of those other fights.
Yeah, I actually thought it was harder than that. I thought this, to me, I struggled with this almost as much as I struggled with Trobbio the first time, and more than the last Sinner. It's the first Sinner, man. I say that every time. But this one I just found very difficult with the way the walls were spiked, so it was hard to get around the arena sometimes. You could wander into those a little bit. The second phase I thought was particularly the hardest part, when they're both spewing stuff out and the arena gets a little more complicated to find safe areas. Once I kind of figured it out, it got a lot easier, but I struggled with this quite a bit at the beginning of Act 3.
Yeah, this almost doesn't feel like a Silksong boss. It feels like a Metroid boss.
Yeah.
Specifically because it feels modeled after a couple of them. There's a couple like worm fights in Metroid games where some of them those are quite similar.
And that's not the only boss in Act 3 that feels that way.
Yeah.
Moving on to, I think your favorite boss is Shrine Guardian Seth.
I hate this boss, and I feel bad for hating it. I hate it so much. Okay, I definitely didn't struggle with it as much as I did Widow, Forge Brothers, Ignis, whatever.
Oh yeah.
So I'll put it above First Sinner and below Widow. Okay, I don't know if I was no, it's an under Lace 2 and Bell Eater. It just annoyed me.
Yeah. I disagree. I think it was a very hard boss. I think to me I struggled more with him than I did with the Unraveled. Just because the arena was really long and he could teleport, so he could teleport like right in front of you. I think this fight would have actually benefited from a smaller arena. And the way he could block so many of your attacks felt annoying. With his shield,
yeah,
he could do so much to negate your damage that it added a level of difficulty for me.
I think the reason I wouldn't put even though this fight really frustrated me, and I would say it's hard, is that once I decided on a strategy for it, I felt like it got a lot easier.
Yeah.
Once I was like, okay,
just wait for it to
he's
attack.
Just going to react to everything I do, so I'm just going to go dash in, hit, dash out, dash in. Like, I feel like I stopped engaging with the boss maybe in the way that it wanted you to, so I just had a strategy that just worked for it.
Yeah.
So it felt like it was the most frustrating experience in the game outside of Grohl up until that point, to much easier. So I'm kind of like averaging out those experiences, but I could see why you would put it very hard.
Yeah. So after that is the boss that he's guarding, Nyleth. Where are you going?
Probably under Clover Dancers, above Grandmother Silk.
I thought
it wasn't
this
that
boss
hard.
wasn't very hard. I think it was a not very hard boss. There were elements that were difficult. It was more annoying to me than it was hard, just because of the way that the wall that she was on was also spiked, so sometimes I would kind of bounce into it as I was pogoing off her head, but overall it wasn't terrible, and it was like a pretty low level of frustration for me. It also spawned you like essentially right outside of her fight every time, so it didn't take me that long. I don't know. I don't think she was that hard. I thought she was more annoying than hard. I wish I had more projectiles that I could have thrown at her from the other wall. As it was, I was using the pale nails, which wasn't bad, but there was no good way to gain silk in this fight, so that made it a little more challenging, but nothing crazy, I didn't think. I struggled more with Seth, for sure.
I think I agree. I think I put this too high. Like I'm thinking in my head like, well, it was this far in the game and I died a few times, but also like, and it wasn't frustrating for me very much. So yeah. I probably put it at the top of not very hard. So I'm looking at the bosses I put over it in hard. I'm like, I definitely struggled more with this.
Yeah. I agree. Then after that, we have Crust King Khann. To me, this was...
this one's weird.
This is weird. So the rooms leading up to it, I thought were pretty hard, but the boss itself, like, to me, it wasn't that hard at all. Like, I think it was less hard than the first lace fight for me. I didn't struggle really with this fight. I would say it's not very hard.
Yeah, and you didn't have to redo all the rooms. You just had to redo the last one, and that was like kind of part of the fight.
It was, but it wasn't even that hard for me. Like that last room, like the third room was so hard. But the room right before him.
The last room was the easiest room.
Yeah.
I would also probably put this. Yeah, I'd put this under the first lace fight. It's like just having to separate it from the rooms that came before it can be hard, even though like you don't have to do the first few rooms again.
Yeah, I think if I had to do the first 3 rooms again, I don't think I would have even fought him, because I would have been like, nah, I'm not about this. This is way too much.
I might have just given up.
That's like
I
a
would have been pretty
point.
irritating. Yeah, I agree. Not a very hard fight, and it comes so late that it's like it's a little disappointing actually.
Yeah. So the boss after this though is Skarrsinger Karmelita, and to me this was the hardest boss in the game. I struggled
This boss is so hard.
so much with this boss. So hard. A fun fight, but my god, I was trying everything I could possibly think of to beat this boss.
Yeah, this fight's really hard. I do think it's pretty fair, but sometimes she would like, you can't like try to cheese it and just float at the top corners because she will jump higher.
Yeah.
So sometimes I would try to do that to get away from a thing, and she'd react very quickly by doing that, and I'd be like, oh crap.
And she basically always reacts to those jumps. If you're in the air at all, she's gonna target you with that little spinny bounce move.
That's why like I got this fight maybe much better at dashing down, and same with the final fight of the game, but like this one like really forced me to like use the dash more in different directions aside from side to side.
Yeah. This one is the only fight where I just decided to try to parry everything she did. And I felt like that worked way better than any other strategy I tried, because I legit tried every strategy before this, I think. I tried tools, I tried staying in the air, I tried staying on the ground, like, no, just get
The cool thing though about these fights, and I think it's part of what made them easier, is that your shards are refreshed once
That's
you exit
true.
the dream, because it doesn't count as using them, I guess.
It only counts if you
like,
use the engineer, the architect crest.
Yeah. So because of that, it made these fights a little easier than they would have been otherwise. Especially the 2 preceding this one. But this one was like way harder. It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
I put this at hardest at the top also.
Where at the top? At the top?
At the top. The top.
Top. All right, so after that, we have the Court of Craw. To me, the hardest thing about this fight was the waves of enemies before the boss. Like, the boss itself wasn't that bad, but the waves before added to the difficulty. I don't think it was, like, very hard, but to me, this was probably harder than Sister Splinter, but not quite as hard as the Clover Dancers.
Probably put this at the top of not very hard. Just my experience, because I, like, aggressively use tools, so...
Yeah.
Didn't feel as difficult. I didn't do like the cheesy like cog fly with the poison and that kind of thing, but I did use tools very deliberately, and it made the guard control a lot easier. So I learned my lesson after the Savage Beast Fly fight.
Get those
so
ads
I
out
just
of there.
didn't engage with it any other way. If I didn't do that, it might fire, but because of that, easier time, and the vibes are amazing for the fight too. So like.
Yeah, it is cool. And the summons is super fun, which I appreciate. I like little theatrics.
Reminder that this list is not like a quality tier list. It's just on the difficulty.
Yeah, just on the difficulty. So after this, we have the Palestag. I thought this was very easy.
Yeah, I thought so too. I one tapped this one.
At the top, bottom.
Yeah, at the top. Like it was definitely like. There's more things to dodge than Fourth Chorus or Skull Turret.
Yeah.
But it was still pretty easy.
It was, to me, it was annoying because it would teleport away from you a lot, but it wasn't hard. It just like was a slight
I agree.
inconvenience.
If you were fairly patient and just waited till the things came out, jumped over it, went to go in for an attack, and then wait for it again, like it wasn't that fun of a fight, but it wasn't very hard.
But after that, in the same area, we have the Clover Dancers. Where are you going with these guys?
I mean, it was easier than the first time, I felt like.
I thought so too. I thought it was like pretty significantly easier. To me, this was actually an easy fight. Top of easy for me.
Yeah, I'd probably put it in top of easy too. It was actually kind of disappointing.
I know. I was really hoping for a better fight.
Yeah, I don't really like they added like one new the tornado thing. Spin around like that, and that did kill me once, but after that it was not that hard. I was expecting a little bit more.
The run back was annoying if you died. I think I died once in this fight, just because like you had to go back into the dream and everything. Like I really wish there was a room bench in that room.
Yeah, I agree. And there was a room in his place that felt like it was another entrance to the dream, so that's where I thought it would spawn you, but no.
I know. It was...
And also, I didn't have a map for it. I don't even know if you can get a map, so like I just had to remember where to
get
go.
a map for it, I believe.
I never found it. I think.
It's not even that helpful. The zone isn't that big. It's not. It's more just annoying. It's like you're not gonna hit any enemies or anything really running back to it, but it's just not super fun.
Agreed. Not a great fight. Also easy.
After that, though, we have Gurr the Outcast. Where are you going?
I know you were not a big fan of this fight.
I was not. I didn't like the tools.
I don't know how hard you felt it was, though.
I don't think it was so hard. Like I'm not putting it in the hard category. To me, it was under Nyleth as a not very hard boss, but still some challenge to it. I thought, really, if I could get his little tools out of the way more consistently, it would have been a better fight for me. But I just really struggled to figure out how to remove all of the spikes without essentially running into them. Like, so that's what I struggled with, but I wouldn't say I struggled for a long time with it. I would say, it was okay.
A lot of stuff on screen. I agree, it wasn't that hard. I'd put Nyleth.
You'd put it under Nyleth?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. And then after him, we have the Lost Gourmand.
I really, really struggled with this. I don't know why. But like,
it's because you didn't want to hit him. You know, it was painful for you to hit your friend.
It's weird because I think almost all his moves are stuff that like we had seen before from the Abyss versions of enemies, and I just really like, I don't know what it was. I just couldn't get it down. And once I did, I was like, oh, okay. But I actually didn't like this fight at all.
Oh dang. I didn't think it was that bad.
It irritated me, and it wasn't as hard as some of the other fights, but it did just.
Yeah, where are you putting it?
Probably at the bottom of hard. Above Sister Splinter, and above Unraveled. Sorry. Yeah, right there. Yeah. I really struggle with this. I don't know why. I feel like it hard, but it was hard for me. So.
Yeah, I don't think it was very hard. Once I figured out how to beat him, it was kind of just a 1-2 hit, then back up, let him shoot his things out, then 1-2 hit, back up. I thought he was, to me, he was not very hard under probably he was probably a little bit harder than Enraged.
It's kind of like an easier version of the Seth fight.
Yeah, I agree. So I don't think it was like super hard, but I could definitely see some of his moves could be a little challenging, especially with the way that they would shoot.
Sometimes I felt like you could just get caught out really easily, like because he would just throw stuff up in the air, he would jump. Like, I don't know, it just didn't click with me.
Yeah. After him, though, we have the Voltvrym. So I'm gonna say this is the joke of the game. Definitely the biggest joke.
Yeah, really disappointing fight. Joke also. It's not hard. Like, the visuals of the purple are kind of cool, but he just like stays in the spot. I don't know. I was expecting when I heard Voltvrym, without having seen the boss, just the name, I was like, oh, it's gonna be like a dragon or something, or like a bug dragon thing, you know?
Yeah.
And
it was a lame worm.
Like coral. I don't actually know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know exactly what he is. I assume he's a worm of some kind, but
it was Voltvrym, so I'm like,
yeah, but I feel like it's based off of worms.
Maybe it looks like coral to me. Yeah. So
it's not fun at all.
Something like.
I don't think it provides any challenge. I beat this thing first try. I don't even.
And it's like it's harder to get to than it is.
Yeah, yeah. And to get to it isn't really that long either. So it's not that bad.
But its boss drop is really good, and I used it for the rest of the game.
That's true. It does have a good tool comes out of it.
But yeah, no, not a good fight.
After him, we have Tormented Trobbio. Where you go?
Again, like the rematch fights are weird because I feel like in some ways they're easier.
I think so
except
too.
For Lace, which gets progressively harder.
To me, this is like the top of hard. I struggled a lot less than I did the first time. Even though there's like a little bit more on screen, I felt like I had the system down pretty well, or a lot better at least than I did with the first one.
I put this. Oh man, Is it really harder than Cogwork Dancers, though? I don't know.
I think he is.
I'm gonna put it under Cogwork Dancers above Grandmother. So it's just it's difficult with some of these fights that are just really fun, but also hard. But they're not like irritating.
Yeah.
So
this one's hard. I think the hardest thing about this one for me is when he would pop up out of the ground sometimes after following you around for a while.
Yeah. I think this fight made it kind of hard to see things too, with all like the purple glowy bits on the screen. Sometimes I literally just couldn't see what was happening, and I was like, oh, okay.
Partially felt like that was intentional.
Probably. It's hard to say because there are other parts in the game where it's happening, and I'm like, is that really on purpose, or is that like they didn't consider the fact that, like, you know,
yeah,
people had been playing this game over and over to recognize all the little subtle differences, but.
Yeah. After this, we have the Pinstress.
I feel like getting to her was more annoying than fighting her. She was a little annoying because she would patterns, but not very difficult.
She was annoying because she would what?
Because she was like just getting to her the first time.
Yeah.
You get to climb all the way up. A little annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, it did help by that point. You have the soar, but
her moves weren't that bad, but her positioning was really annoying, I thought, because she would often float like outside of the arena, so to speak, like over the cliff, and I'm like, how am I supposed to hit you? You're over nothing. I can't even get to you. So I don't. It was annoying to me. I don't think she was very hard. To me, she was not very hard. She was probably not as hard as Lost Gourmand for me.
Wow. I put her at the top of easy. Another. It's interesting hard lists. Some places are so different that it makes it look like what? Like, you even play the same game.
It's funny what people struggle on, though. You know, like I thought this boss really could have benefited from like a phase 2.
Yeah, I feel like it wasn't supposed to be that hard, but it was kind of underwhelming after again.
Yeah.
So I thought we were gonna fight the big moth thing.
Yeah.
We didn't.
I know, it just gave us the thing. That was it.
And her reward, I don't even remember what she gives you.
Something worthless too. It's not even something fun. I can't. Oh, it's the increased damage to your charge attack, I think.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna get the cool cross charge thing. That would have been so sick because she uses it in the fight.
Yeah, that would have been.
So
really
does
cool. I don't even
Sentinel.
use like. She gave me something that I didn't even use in the game. Like it wasn't even something that I even ever really.
Well, what's funny about that is I'm pretty sure it's like one of the best tools. But like, if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, but clearly I don't know what I'm doing, so it didn't help me at all.
Yeah. Okay, fight. The personality of the fight was funnier than the experience of fighting it was.
Agreed.
Not very hard.
After her, though, I didn't even fight this one. We talked about this last time, but it's the Plasmafied Zango.
I died so many. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure how this fight works because when you first fight it, it's like it's pretty easy, and then he gets faster and faster and fires more of the blue things.
Yeah.
And that seems to carry over between deaths. At least it did for me. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but like it didn't feel like I started the fight over every time.
Interesting.
In terms of where he was in his phases, but it felt like his HP was resetting. I'd have to look into this. I'm sure there's an answer. Maybe his HP does not reset and he just has a lot.
No, so he heals 0.77 health per second, I think. Like throughout the fight.
Really?
Yeah, that's like how he works. Is like so it's kind of, you can use the little vial thing, I think, and I think it takes 6 hits to kill him. But if you don't use that and you just try to out DPS him, it's basically just a DPS
It's gonna take a long time.
Yeah, you just have to be able to do more damage than he can heal.
Yeah, so you really need all the nail upgrades and silk upgrades for this because otherwise you're gonna be hero. And I was hero a while. This fight sucked. I hated it. Like you can use the vial thing to do that, but like after the first 2 or 3, I don't know how you're supposed to hit him. I'm sure there's a video of somebody doing it.
Yeah.
but for me, I was like, this is incomprehensible, and I cheesed it because I got so frustrated. I just hung out in a spot where he couldn't hit you, dashed in, do a couple hits, dash out, to regain silk, do his silk hit, and I guess I just did enough that I eventually killed him, but I was here forever. Like, it was hard, but it wasn't fun.
Yeah, luckily this boss list has nothing to do with enjoyment of the fight.
Yeah, it's so, I know, but it's so weird because, like, it was annoying. It was more annoying than Seth. But was it harder? Like, probably not.
Yeah.
You could very easily cheese it if you know what to do. But if you're not cheesing it, it's like I'd probably put it in very hard. I'd put this above Seth, under Lace 2. Like, it just pissed me off so much that it sticks out in my memory a
Yeah.
lot, but I don't think I actually died to it as many times. And it has kind of an annoying rumble as well. So,
For sure. So I didn't fight it. I went back to look at it for the video just so I had some footage to put in our last video. And I sat there for like 10 minutes hitting it every once in a while, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and do this. I've already beat the game. I have no, and he gives you nothing. So there's 0 point.
It doesn't give you anything. Bosses don't even count towards percentage, which I didn't know, because the first guide I read said that bosses do count towards percentage, which is a very easily observable thing, and I could have checked myself afterward to verify that before I started trying to clear every single optional boss for 100%.
Yeah.
So that's like partially on me, but also like you're writing a guide and you're presumably getting paid to do so. You couldn't check that. I'm more mad about this because I would not have wasted my time on this fight if I knew he didn't count.
Yeah.
The only reason I did is because I was worried I wouldn't get that percent.
That's funny. But then after him, we just basically had the Watcher at the Edge. That's their last optional boss. And I didn't think he was very hard myself. To me, he was easier than Clover Dancers.
Yeah, I'd put him under Pinstress and Clover Dancers. He was pretty easy. I like the flavor of the fight, but it's not very hard.
I agree. It looked cool, but it just wasn't very difficult. Didn't take me very long. I did use tools, but at this point in the game, I was literally just trying to kill this boss so that I could get into the final fight of the game because I was ready.
Yep.
And neither of us did.
Nope.
What's his name?
I don't even know how you trigger this. I'll have to look it up later, but
I don't know.
I don't want to
sure.
fight her, so.
I don't think you actually kill her. I think it's like a sparring.
No, you
session
don't.
Or
You
something.
don't. And I'm really glad she didn't have like a corrupted version in Act 3. That'd have really sucked.
It would have. I feel like I saw someone say it's only in Steel Soul mode, but I could be wrong about that. But that brings us to the...
I think it is. I think that's why.
Yeah, that neither of us found it.
That sounds correct.
But yeah, that brings us to Lost Lace, though, the final boss of the game. Where are you going with the final boss?
To me, this was the hardest fight in the game. I was here for a while. I found it pretty frustrating, actually, until I realized what it wanted you to do. It wanted you to kind of stay in mid and not run away, because if you run away, she could just spawn under you and do contact damage.
Yep.
And it took me like over an hour to realize that's what it wanted from me. So I'm kind of like a slow learner with this pattern recognition in games like this. I don't know why. I just really struggle with that. So for me, that made the boss a lot harder. But once I realized that, this fight is pretty awesome, and it's still really hard.
Yeah. To me, I struggled with Gurr and Karmelita more than her, but I still think the fight was amazing. I thought it was very challenging, but unlike the two that I have harder than her, I thought all of her moves were so fair, and every time I died really felt like my fault, whereas Gurr, sometimes I died on bullshit reasons. Karmelita just annoyed the shit out of me. It took me forever, but I thought Lost Lace was really good. It was a great fight all around, super difficult, 3 phases. Once you're kind of in the rhythm of figuring out when to strike, basically I found 2 moves that after she did them, I would always counter and follow up. And because I knew that those 2 moves were pretty safe, I would try to dodge everything else before that, and then until I got to those 2 moves, and then I would just lay on a couple hits and just keep going. So I feel like this pattern recognition for me was easier than the Lace 2 fight, and I don't know why that is, but that's kind of how I felt with this one.
Interesting. I think she is fair, but I think when you first fight her, at least for me, it didn't feel fair in some points. Like I said, the first thing that caught me out was the spawning under you.
Yeah.
And that won't happen to you, I think, if you keep in mid-range.
The only time she would spawn under you, I think the reason that happens, not just in her fight, but basically every fight that has someone teleporting, is the game would see you running away. So it would move the boss closer to you, but because you kept running, it had already pinpointed the location where it was going to come up, which is why you ended up running into the boss so much, because it wouldn't keep readjusting as you kept moving your character. So I think that's why it happened.
I think so too.
Which didn't make it less annoying knowing why it was happening, just...
But knowing, like, it just wouldn't happen to you if you kept the boss in a certain distance. Which is why it feels like it was on purpose. That was one of the things that caught me out. The other move that took me a while to learn was the counter, because she would do one of 2. She would either do one and jump in the air or one for you. And This kind of annoyed me because you could be like on the very edge of it, or like barely touching your hitbox, and it'll suck you in.
Yeah, for sure.
And that annoyed me, but that's one of the points where it's like it wants you to be patient, but not too patient. You had to like keep an equilibrium. It's like don't react right away,
but
see what she does and then react.
Yeah.
Or not even see what she does, but just don't immediately dash away or jump up or anything. Just wait like half second and then do that. Because I think she decides which one she's going to do based on where you are when it happens.
Yeah, I think
and if you react too quickly, she catches you out because she sees where you're going. She already knows where you're going.
Definitely there's some
But if you just wait, if you just wait a second, that you can dodge it. You can figure out what she's going to do. Or you can, even if you don't know what she's going to do, you can react to what she's going to do if you just wait. So that was really hard for me to grasp. And then the other one, for some reason, that I really struggled with was the one where she dashes and the tentacles come up behind her. I got hit by that so many times just because I like really misjudged like how high the tentacles were.
Yeah.
Don't know why that was so hard for me, but I died to that a lot.
Yeah, and the tentacles, when she was on the ground and would lunge them at you, go a lot further across the screen than you think they're gonna go.
Yeah, she dashes, and sometimes she does that at the end where she jumps up and does like a spinny attack and catches you out, which is why it wants you to dodge in certain ways, and that's another one where it's like, okay, just wait a second, but it's hard when you're in the heat of the moment. You want to react as soon as you can, because normally that would be good. It's almost like this game's version of like the wind-up attacks from Elden Ring, except I think those are significantly worse.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's just so unnatural, whereas this you can like you can feel it out a lot better. And I don't think any of those things are necessarily unfair. They just make it harder in the moment and also harder to sight read.
There's definitely a bit of a learning curve with that specific thing.
Yeah, and you want to stay fairly close to her, which feels like unnatural when she's throwing so much insane crap at you.
True.
But really good fight though.
Yeah.
And also the hardest in the game for me.
Yeah, there's no doubt it was, for me, one of the hardest in the fight, and I think it's top tier. But overall, I think that's going to wrap it up for our list of the most difficult bosses in all of Hollow Knight Silksong, at least the ones we fought. And let us know, who did you think was the hardest in the game? Who was the easiest? Who was just bloody unfair? I'm Keegs, Ben's with me. We're signing off. Catch y'all in the next video.